The St. Louis Actors Studio has now completed this year's run of its LaBute New Theater Festival. As usual, playwright Neil LaBute contributed his name and interest to the festival, as well as one new short play. Contributions came from 6 additional playwrights, with 4 plays performed in each of 2 sets. LaBute's was included in each set. The highlight for me was Carrie Pepper's Mark My Worms, directed by Michael Hogan. An actor, Eric Dean White, has been cast by director David Wasilak in a production of a recently discovered early play by a famous playwright. The playwright's literary executor has decreed the play must be performed exactly as the playwright wrote it, even though the playwright was notorious for his typos. The actor says there's no way he can say these obvious mistakes without correcting them. But then they're joined by Emily Baker as the actress who completes the cast. She brings with her some academic's dissertation explaining how the typos actually are right and deepen the meaning far beyond the obvious errors. And if the errors themselves are funny, careful, I've got a bun, the play gets even more delightful with its satire of the academic's critical reasoning. Also of interest was Jeff Carter's Fire Sends Matches, directed by John Pearson. Baker and White here were husband and wife, with Jeremy Pinson as their son, on a family outing that's an attempt to bring the family closer together. The father tries to show the son how to make a fire by rubbing sticks together. He succeeds beyond his wildest dreams. James Hagney's Winter Break, again directed by Michael Hogan, has a promising setup. Liren Campbell is a college student who's converted to Islam and is going to Turkey on her winter break to study with a famous Sufi master. Her mother, played by Jenny Smith, fears that she might not return. Her brother, played by Ryan Foisey, thinks she will cross over into Syria and join ISIS. Unfortunately, he's spouting the most racist, simplistic, hate-filled stereotypes. The mother is a little better, but the young woman who's expressed her beliefs and her desire to understand more in clear and reasonable ways deserves better antagonists to sharpen her thinking and its expression. It would be a better play if she had them. Pearson also directed Adam Seidel's American Outlaws. Eric Dean White is a CPA who has gotten into financial difficulties, some related to the mob. David Wasilak is from the mob and is having an affair with the CPA's wife. Wasilak is smooth, knowing, quietly threatening. White is hesitant, careful, fearful. They do it well, but this kind of tension needs more substance to sustain it. It gets dull after a while. Wasilak was a husband and father in Lawrence Clavin' Show of Affection, with Emily Baker as wife and mother and Bridget Bessa and Ryan Foisey as their children. Patrick Huber directed. The family's neighborhood is not suburban bliss, with heads of neighbors impaled on their front fence. Then you notice the bite marks on the necks of 3 of them, and we have another of the popular vampire tales, with some darkly comic incongruity to this Thanksgiving celebration. Foisey returned as a wheelchair-bound young man with cerebral palsy in Willie Johnson's Blue Balls, also directed by Huber. Eric Dean White's character has come to pick up the mother of Foisey's character, whom he'd met at a community college class, for a date. The mother is slow to appear. The son delights in various ways of embarrassing the caller. It gets old. Neil LaBute's contribution this year was called Life Model. Pearson again directed. Bridget Bassa was the model. Jenny Smith was the artist. Or was she an artist? When we see her work, it's childish scrawls of breasts and crotches. Does she just want to look at her models? Nudity on stage can be an easy way to stimulate an audience's interest, even if it's just implied and talked about. And LaBute does explore a little the question of who gets to define what art is and who is an artist. But it's all pretty easy and predictable stuff, hardly in a class with his best work. All of these playwrights practice their craft well. They write believable dialogue. They create reasonably clear characters within the one-act's limitations. But most of the work is pretty thin and predictable, with less development than even those limitations could allow. What was good about the festival was the ingenious use of the stage by Patrick Huber's set design and lighting, Carl Landis Evans' costumes and props, and sound design by the directors, who also did good work as directors. Best of all were the actors, convincing, intelligent performances that took what the scripts offered and gave more.
Yes, I agree, and I'm very glad that the LaBute Festival is going to continue.
Yes.
Hey, thanks for watching. Click here to subscribe and check us out on Facebook. The link is below.